YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. We got another video here by Chibi Reviews. Japan strikes back after visa censorship after Steam removes hundreds of its games for brand protection, which is messed up. Like, this whole thing of Visa being the naysayers of what is morally correct, what is morally right, and like, dude, Visa must shut up, make their money, and go away. You know, like, this is not right. But anyways, let's check out the video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Tell me what you guys think, and of course, let's jump into the video.
You know how Visa has been censoring anime, manga, and games for the last few years, all in the name of brand protection?
Rubbish.
Well, this individual here on the left...
Brand protection how? Like, like what are you protecting yourself against? From yourself? Like, they're the only big company that is out there that, like, anyways, dude, this is just, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They're trying to show that we can control you. It's not brand protection. That's rubbish.
As Yamada Taro. And you're probably wondering to yourself, how is he related whatsoever to the whole Visa drama and what's been going on with censorship? Well, this individual right here has been an active advocate for freedom of expression, anti-censorship, and has been very outspoken against credit card companies like Visa and Mastercard, and how these credit card companies and payment processors have been forcing Japan to censor itself, forcing businesses to close down shop if they don't censor themselves. He's been very outspoken, and
yeah, because what basically Visa does, they've done it to a few big companies in Japan. What they say is, okay, we don't want to associate with your company no more. We're taking away our payment processes for Visa. You know what happens to that company? It's shut down. Because if you cannot get a payment through Visa, you're screwed. You know, so it's so ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous, honestly.
Been on manga offer sides, he's been on anime.
No lie, I feel like Japan is one of those countries where they need to create their own credit card service. I don't know if they can, but yeah, it's bad, you know?
Sides, he's basically pro freedom of expression, so to speak. And why this is very important and why I'm bringing this up is because earlier this morning, Yamada Taro was elected in Japan. He is an official representative, a part of, Japan's actual government now. He is officially won, and it's a big day for basically those that love freedom of expression. And he has actively been in contact with other authors. For one, he has been in contact with Ken, aka the author of Love Hina. For those that don't know, Love Hina is a very iconic series that has legitimately gone on to be an actual influence on pretty much the entire rom-com genre of manga and anime. It is a very influential series. But getting back into the main topic, Yamada Taro winning and actually getting elected is a massive victory, especially in the whole storyline that we've been dealing with for the last few years when it comes to Visa and Mastercard forcing Japan to bow down and censor themselves. Now that he's officially been elected, he's officially gotten a little bit more power, there could be theoretically changes that can be made with time. Now that I've set the stage for why Yamada Taro is so important and why it's a huge victory for Japan for him to be elected, and because he's trying to be a big advocate for freedom of expression and anti-censorship, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is payment processors. What's been going on for the last few years, and what has happened just in the last few days. Some of you might already be aware of this. For instance, if you actively have been following the conversation on social media, you're probably aware of this, but if you're someone that strictly just watches YouTube, and you get most of your information, like when it comes to Visa and Mastercard through me, then this is going to come as a surprise. So basically, as we all know, Visa and Mastercard has been forcing Japan for years now to basically censor.
I mean, manga, because they trying to take away hentai, lolly anime and all of that. I'm not saying, okay, hentai, blah blah blah, but it's just the fact of, you know, if let's say your website has maybe 2 or 3 episodes, seasons of hentai, but the rest of your content is cool, normal anime, they will still take away your payment processes. That's what they did to a few companies, and it's painful because it's like, yo, you know, not every single website is about hentai, you know, and that's what they try to make it about. It's weird, bro, what Visa and Mastercard are doing. And now I bet he's gonna say they took out Steam's more than 100 games from Steam's.
Make content from different sites. Most of the time it's adult content, aka fictional content, manga and stuff like doujins and all that. They are completely censored. However, there has been manga that isn't necessarily strictly just 18 plus content that has also been targeted by Visa and Mastercard on these different Japanese sites and stores.
You know, Visa and Mastercard, I don't know why they're doing this. Soon, they're going to target something which people don't like, and people are going to end up being like, okay, you know what? We're going to make our own. This is a company which should just shut up, make your money. You already, you own everything. Why would you now try and control? That is basically a pseudo government, a government that is not even regulated by its own government. Since that they're now a company, they're gonna just create their own rules, and you know, if we don't like you guys, you know, it's like Illuminati, bruh. For real.
Cause these entire sites and stores to shut down or completely remove that content to not support them, which does affect the industry. It affects anime and manga. And the reason why this is so important is because these payment processors like Visa and MasterCard are a dual monopoly. They are a straight up monopoly. Monopoly. They have so much political backing. They have so much money. They pretty much control the entirety of the world when it comes to cash flow. They do. Because it is the most common form of usage when it comes to payments. People use a MasterCard. They will use a Visa card. It's a very standard way people use to buy goods throughout the entirety of the world. Now, there's a few exceptions. There's different companies depending on the country, like JC.
No. Stop now saying dependent. Everywhere in the world, you can use your Visa or MasterCard. So, you know.
For instance, in Japan, but even they have been affected to some degree thanks to certain individuals, which I'll talk about in a moment. But to get right into it, basically, these payment processors have been actively censoring fictional content that is not real. But to add on to this and remind everybody, this is the same type of companies, for instance, like Visa, MasterCard, that actively allow OnlyFans to be a hotbed for actual PDF.
Seriously, they let OnlyFans go. But then fictional content, anime titties, it can't get bad. It gets banned. But the real life girls, which love to dress, you know, naked and do corn, you know, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. No, because it's hypocrisy. That's what I'm trying to say. The fictional anime girls with big boobs, we are gonna now ban them. But then the real life people, we're just gonna let them be. Like it's ridiculous. This is all control. That's why they did it to Steam. They're trying to test how far we can control each and every single company to bend to our will, which is wrong. It's wrong. They shouldn't be allowed to do this. I don't know which other company. I'm trying to think of another example because this has happened before, but this is wrong. All in all, you know, like it's hypocrisy what these companies are talking about, because it's not consistent, you know. I'm not an advocate for anime what, but the problem is the moment when you can see them taking one website down, what's gonna stop them from not controlling each and every single website? Because it starts with one, and then it goes two, and then before you know it, they're controlling everything. So then that's the problem that we have. The control, the full-on control of this company. It's not right at all.
Content, and they were called out for it. I've covered that already in previous videos. If you're interested, you could probably go through my channel playlist on Chibi Topics and you could find it for yourself. But basically, you know, they have actively just ignored actual real life issues on OnlyFans, but then they straight up will go out of their way to just try to censor Japan and get their entire culture to bow down to them. That's what they've been doing. So, with all of that being presented, we got to talk about what happened a few days ago.
What happened?
There is a group called Collective Shout that made themselves very well known a few days ago. And now the internet is starting to get word of what's been happening with these payment processors, aka Visa and Mastercard. There was even a Reddit post earlier today, for some reason it is now removed, but it also brought up the old article I discussed over a year ago, where Visa's CEO of Japan said they were going to censor as much content as possible, all in the name of brand protection. And this article started making a lot of waves earlier today on the subreddit of gaming, or gaming subreddits, and a lot of people were talking about it. They were really shocked to actually see what was going on here. And I don't know why it was removed, very questionable, because I do think it's very important to discuss, but this gets into the topic. Collective Shout apparently contacted pretty much almost every single payment processor that they could, Visa, MasterCard, JCB, PayPal, everyone, to say, hey, this content is on Steam, why are you allowing the purchase of this content on Steam? Now, if you take a look at this picture, obviously there's going to be a lot of people that are going to watch this video.
These Collective Shout people are a minority. That's the one thing which I hate about the so-called whistleblowers, or whatever they feel like they are. These are all, it's fictional. There's real life problems out there that people are actually going through. You can't be hating on the fictional content. You cannot be. You cannot be. Just because it's in a game, in a movie, in a manga, dude, these are all fictional stories. It's wrong if it's real, but it being in a game, movie, anime content, and it's fictional, come on. Now you have too much time. You know, and it shows that it's because this is hypocritical. The hypocrisy in all of this, trust me. These people, I'm telling you, as much as they be saying all of this, I bet they'll probably have an OnlyFans or something. But you get what I'm trying to say. It's just hypocritical. Like, it don't make sense why we're putting our effort and time into trying to shut down games or anime or manga or something, you know?
And they're not going to care for this content. They're going to say that's gross, that's creepy, that's weird, whatever. Have whatever opinion you want, okay? I'm not here to judge someone. What I'm going to say, however, if you actively allow someone to censor content,
it can easily go to any content. Because the problem is, if you allow people to censor the content where they're like, oh, okay, we don't like this, it can easily go to everything. It can go to everything. I'm telling you, because people feel some type of way of anything. So now the problem is, the moment you feel like censoring one type of content, they're going to go to the next and the next and the next until all the content is gone. For real, for real.
Open the door up for more censorship. For instance, it never stops at content you dislike. It continues to happen. Censorship is a slippery slope, and once you go past a certain threshold, there's no coming back. And so, for instance, the reason why this is so important is because Collective Shout for the last 4 days now, I say 3 to 4 days, they have been jumping for joy in glee that they managed to get hundreds of Steam games taken off of the Steam store that all had taboo topics associated with them. At this current time, from my understanding, the coffin of Andy and Lele is not been removed yet, but it's only a matter of time until this group, Collective Shout, actually manages to accomplish that. So we need to ask ourselves, who is Collective Shout and why do they have so much power? And well, as for the power segment, I have no idea why a feminist group from Australia has so much political pull to get hundreds of games on Steam, not just removed from Australia, but worldwide. And it's a pretty big deal. That is an actual huge deal that this one group managed to accomplish something like that. And for a long time, for years, Steam is always seen as a bastion for freedom of expression, allowing you to post basically anything you...
But the problem is, the moment you get into the area of now you're messing with their money, they're gonna ditch you like hotcakes. Like legit, they're gonna be like, it's a hotcake, we're ditching y'all. So that's the problem with these type of groups. It for me, okay, the games that they deleted were creepy, but it starts with 1 and it's gonna go to 2, then everything will be censored. Because I'm telling you, bro, we've seen this before. I've seen it in my own industry, anime, and it frustrated me so much. Now it's going to gaming, and I bet now the gamers are realizing that, wait a second, this is rubbish. How can this government start doing this? You know, not government, the pseudo government, the Visa. How can this company have so much leverage on each and every single individual? It's ridiculous. Because now if they're starting with these guys, they could easily go to each and every single industry. They could go to filming, to whatever, any industry, and say, you know what, we're not going to associate ourselves with you. We're going to take away our, or they threaten that, we're going to take away our payment processes. And now the company's like, oh shit, how can we now compete without Visa? You know, it's crazy.
But now with something like this brings into question everything with Steam. And for those that are unaware, just a few days ago, Steam was forced to update their policies or enforce their policies a little bit more to be able to get rid of certain games on their platform that Collective Shout managed to get rid of. And they were bowing down to the payment processors like Visa and Mastercard and PayPal, which is very concerning that Steam was forced to do something like that, once again, by these payment processors. Our old friends, sarcasm obviously, coming back once again to force a massive Goliath like Steam to censor itself. Strange. And once again, the people behind this that caused this to happen was Collective Shout. So, there is speculation forming, these are allegations right now, or speculation, that Collective Shout could also be a big part or responsible for some of the stuff that's been actively going on in Japan. Or at least when it comes to censorship of anime and manga. Now, once again, there is no concrete evidence to back this yet.
Because who the hell is telling these people about our anime girls? The problem is these are all fictional content, bro. You know, they're not focusing on the real life stuff. They're focusing on fictional content. This is not real. This is just a freaking idea, you know? And that's the thing which makes me like so like confused of like, why are they focusing so much on fictional content? There's real stuff in the world that's actually happening, but the fictional stuff, okay, you know.
But people are digging, people are searching through this and trying to figure out anything they can, because the internet now, they know who Collective Shout is. For instance, they know they're here. They were jumping for joy the fact that hundreds of games got removed, and it's only a matter of time until something is officially discovered. I am very curious why not a lot of content creators are talking about this. This is an incredibly important topic. Like, the fact that
this was released 2 weeks ago, so like Asmongold, what's his name, Penguin Zero, Rev, they've definitely spoken about this. The drama channels have spoken about this.
Bowed down to credit card companies to censor gaming on their platform is a pretty big deal. That's not even talking about the stuff with anime and manga. Like, just strictly Steam alone is a massive talking point. Like, let's be honest, it's strange. Not many people. I think the only person I think I've seen talk about this at this point is Mutahar. And I haven't watched his full video on that yet, but I know he discussed this, and I know Asmongold made a reply to the duo monopoly of these payment processors. Forgive me, need some water. But I know he made a reply. I don't know if he's made a dedicated video on that yet. Yes. So I'm just curious, like, why not more people are talking about this, because it's a huge story. It is. And I feel like it's scary, because we are entering into an area where a lot of content, not just like anime and manga, but even Steam, is about to get really censored heavily. So we'll see where this goes, but I'm just going to bring it up once again. Just because you don't like certain content and you will never play it, watch it, or whatever, doesn't mean that it should be removed from, like, the Steam store. Because once you allow that to happen,
the content that you like will happen to you too as well. That's how it is, you know?
More stuff's going to start getting censored. That's all. I'll leave it at that. But
yeah, you know, it's just crazy, man. All of this is just ridiculous. These companies have too much power. And it's unjust, you know, for these companies to have so much power to just be removing what they feel like for brand protection. As if bro, that's the one thing which I don't understand. Why is Visa and Mastercard getting into all of this? This is wokeism, dude. Literally. Like, how can you, as a big company that, dude, you control everything, you know? Why don't you just sit aside, shut up, continue doing your whole payment processes and let it fly? Literally. Like, I don't understand why Visa and Mastercard are acting as if there's going to be another company that's just going to come out of nowhere and contest against them. If they keep on continuing doing stuff like this, I wouldn't be surprised, you know, if another company does that. That's why I feel like Japan should start making their own currency, because literally you can't be bowing down to an American corporation just because you released a few things. Now you're gonna bow down to them, because this is control. This is basic control, because it won't stop there. They could literally control you with anything. They have a wide range of controlling you as a country or company, you know. Dude, it's crazy. Just make sure you guys like and subscribe. Tell me what you guys think. This is insane. Peace out. See you guys in the next video.